It's a Saturday, August 12th, 2023. It's a Saturday, so I had a Chinese class this morning and a small family gathering in the afternoon. And after snoozing for 2 hours later this afternoon, I got rejuvenated and about to go to Namwon City with some colleagues. So I have a couple of minutes to go, and I'm trying to read. I'm trying to learn more about Japanese whiskey. I bought 3 bottles of Japanese whiskey in Japan. I just got back from Japanese travel 1 week ago. As a matter of fact, this Sunday I got back. So I gave 1 bottle to my brother-in-law, my wife's youngest brother, and 1 bottle for me, and we drank 1 bottle while in Japan. So since I'm a novice with alcohols and also novice, I am new to whiskey, kind of. Of course, I drank several whiskey shots before. To me, to newly initiated people, the taste between the brands is not that much discernible or important. But that doesn't mean we should drink any whiskey that is on the table. We should be more knowledgeable about what kind of drink, what kind of whiskey we're drinking when we are offered, when the opportunity arises. So everybody needs to learn about whiskey, and especially since I traveled to Japan, let's learn about Japanese whiskey. And also I am trying to read English article each day. So this is English article I randomly pulled off from the internet. So without further ado, let's dive in and practice English by reading this wonderful, seemingly wonderful article. This article is from mensjournal.com, and I just searched for it randomly and found this article. Men's Journal Presents Club. Men's Journal, not Women's Journal. Demand always outweighs supply in the evolving world of Japanese whiskey. That's good. But most of these bottles are out there waiting for you. Yeah, but you said the demand is stronger. Susanna Skiver Barton and Sean Evans. March 22nd, 2023, 4:46 p.m. EDT. Eastern, I think Japanese time, maybe Eastern EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. Since its rapid ascent to renown a decade ago, Japanese whiskey has sat atop the ever-rising mountains of in-demand bottles. Prized for the elegance and balance of its blends, and once upon a time, the excellent ratio of maturity and quality to price. Those days are long gone, unfortunately, as Japan's distillers wait for stocks to mature while its whiskey market continues to explode. Why is Japanese whiskey popular? Ever since Suntory's 2013 Yamazaki Sherry Cask won World Whiskey of the Year in the 2015 edition of Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible, that's good, is thrust Japanese whiskey makers who've been around for decades. It thrusts Japanese whiskey makers who've been around for decades into the spotlight. Thrust Japanese whiskey makers into the spotlight. That exposure was a double-edged sword, causing the demand for Japanese whiskeys to dwarf the supply. The available reserves from the larger distillers, including Suntory and Nikka, Sold out immediately, says Nima Ansari, a buyer specializing in Japanese whiskey for Astor Wine and Spirits. With no just juice left, distillers had to discontinue their oldest products and limit others, while they focused on creating new, younger variants just to keep some whiskey on the shelves. This naturally raised the price for everything, Ansari says, especially the older expressions. It's no longer possible to find a shelf full of Yamazaki 12-year-old priced in the double digits, or age statement Nika Yoichi and Miyagikyo. But a host of new brands have swept in to offer more options, opening up ideas about what makes a uniquely Japanese whiskey. What is Japanese whiskey made from? As a category, Japanese whiskey has long suffered an identity crisis, with little formal regulation to help define it. That's allowed producers to import whiskey from anywhere in the world and blend and bottle it as product of Japan without disclosing that not all the liquid was actually made in the country. A few voluntary labeling standards passed by the Japan Spirits and Liquors Makers Association takes aim at the practice, however, by requiring member companies to be transparent about using imported whiskeys in blends. Takes aim at, takes aim at, takes aim at, takes aim at, takes aim at. Takes aim at. Many producers are continuing to make such whiskies, often calling them world blends. Many of the best Japanese whiskies you can find today diverge completely from the tradition of single malts and blends, instead basing themselves on older distilled spirits traditions such as shochu and awamori. These spirits, made with koji, a mold that turns starches into sugar, are distilled from rice to barley, among other ingredients, and usually sold with little to no cask maturation. Sold with little to no cask maturation. Cask maturation. When aged in barrels, however, they take on many familiar whiskey characteristics. Several brands have established themselves in the last few years, carving out a niche among whiskey drinkers who prize their flavorful and unique character and the fact that they are 100% made in Japan. Well, let me check this out. Due to the scarcity, if you're shopping for a bottle of Japanese whiskey, you are increasingly faced with two options. The younger, unmatured offerings, typically less expensive, though by no means cheap, or pricier bottles. How to drink Japanese whiskey? How to stay away from the younger stuff, advises Flavian Dosoblin, owner of the New York's Brandy Library Bar and Copper and Oak, a bar with 100 Japanese whiskeys that eschews cocktails to serve the spirits pure in 1 or 2 ounce pours. Younger products from newer distilleries could be interesting and great to watch from the future, but I would go something with an age statement or a recurring limited edition. You are assured a quality spirit. Where to buy Japanese whiskey? The Kanta is a great online resource to buy Japanese whiskeys. In addition to the regular still expensive selection, there is a rare page for ultra exclusive finds like Hakushu 25. Yamazaki 25, and bottles from Ichiro Mall's card series. Both Desablin and Ansari agree you will have to put in a little more effort to find the right bottles than you would for a scotch or a bourbon, but you also don't have to go broke when buying Japanese whiskey. As new distilleries come online and drinkers discover the diversity that exists within the category, the landscape should continue to evolve. For now, if you're searching for the best Japanese whiskeys, you can't go wrong with the following selection. If you're searching for the best Japanese whiskeys, you can't go wrong with the following selection. See, I'm trying to repeat the sentence words expressions to memorize them on the spot since I am learning English. From Hibiki Japanese Harmony Whiskey to Suntory Yamazaki, these bottles provide something for everyone and are a solid representation of Japanese whiskey across multiple styles. A solid representation of Japanese whiskey across multiple styles. Best Japanese whiskey to try: Nikka Taketsuru Pure Malt. 1. Nikka Taketsuru Pure Malt. This blend of single malts from Nikka's two distilleries, Yoichi and Miyagikyo, debuted an updated recipe in November 2020 with sherry cask notes emphasized. The blend also highlights more smokiness from the Yoichi component, yet it retains the signature elegance and balance that is always displayed. With the new regulations stipulating that Japanese whiskey makers disclose whether they are sourcing whiskey from abroad, Taketsuru is the rare pure malt that's 100% made in Japan. 2. Matsui Mizunara Cask. Fully produced at the Kurayoshi Distillery, this single malt spends its whole life in casks made of Mizunara oak, which are expensive and difficult to make, and thus rare even within Japan. The resulting flavors mingle signature Mizunara notes like spice and sandalwood with Matsui's inherent fruity sweetness. Signature Mizunara notes. With its striking label that reproduces Katsushika Hokusai's 36 views of Mount Fuji, this whiskey stands out even before you crack open the bottle. 3. Fugano 12-year-old single sherry cask. Made from rice and koji at a distillery that's even operating. A Fugano 12-year-old single sherry cask. Made from rice and koji at a distillery that's been operating since 1823, this whiskey offers advanced age and complex character at an affordable or accessible price. Always bottled as a single cask, exact flavors vary from barrel to barrel, but typically showcase warm spice, deep fruitiness, and chewier texture than usual for koji whiskey, thanks to the dozen years in oak. Limited edition by its nature, this whiskey is still such a well-kept secret that finding a bottle won't be too tough. 4. Yamazaki 25-year-old. If you have serious dough to drop on whiskey, consider this release of a classic from Japan's oldest single malt distillery. With a new recipe by chief blender Shinji Fukuyo that incorporates American, Spanish, and Japanese Mizunara oak casks. The whiskey is a masterwork of maturation and balance. Aromas of apple blossom, sandalwood soap, and waxed lemon give way to a silky palate full of dried apricots, walnuts, spice, and gentle smoke. The days of finding extra mature Yamazaki at everyday values are long gone, but this one gives ample reasons to merit its stratospheric price tag. Yeah, not everyday values. It's a stratospheric price tag sphere, right? Stratosphere, atmosphere than stratosphere, stratospheric price tag. Very expensive. I think like $600. 5. Chichubu Ichiro's Mold and Grain Limited Edition. The use of imported Scotch and other whiskies as blending ingredients has been an open secret in the Japanese whiskey industry for years. Most companies that practice this haven't openly disclosed it until recently, but Ichiro Akuto, founder of Chichubu Distillery, has been transparent since the beginning. His mold and grain releases, which he calls a world blend, include Chichubu's own single malt, as well as single malts and grain whiskies from Scotland, Ireland, Canada, and the United States. The limited edition, released in smaller amounts than by widely available core malt and grain, ramps up the ages of the components, which range from 10 to 40 years old. So Ichiro's, that's world blend. 6. Ohishi Sakura Cask. Japan's Mizunara oak draws a lot of attention for whiskey maturation, but the country's famed cherry blossom trees, sakura in Japanese, also offer a unique prospect for flavor creation. The perfumey aromas and sweet, delicate flavors of stone fruit that pervade this delicate rice-based Koji whiskey are transportive. You can practically feel the soft petals of cherry blossoms gently falling around you as you sip. Wow, really? This is an utterly unique whiskey that's must try for adventurous drinkers. 7. Mars Tsunuki Peated. Parent company Hombo Shuzo got into the whiskey business in 1949, though production wasn't always steady over the years. For the last decade, however, the company has been laying down beautiful single malts at its Mars distillery, and since 2016, Tsunuki Distillery, located 750 miles apart in different climates, the two sites make distinctive flavor profiles, with the Tsunuki flavoring a heavier, thicker character, something that benefits the smoky peat of this release, especially as it's bottled at 50% ABV. Alcohol by volume, ABV. Alcohol by volume. Peat. You know what the peat is? Peat. The coal. You can extract coal when the peat is piled up and pressured under the mountains, and peat is somewhere where the thick mud and the very dark black mud is piled up in the pond. It is called peat. 8. Takamai. The newest Koji whiskey in the US. This one is made from barley rather than rice and aged for 8 years. It's named for Chokichi Takamine, a 19th century scientist and distiller who pioneered the use of koji in American whiskey. Had bad luck but scuttled his business. Takamine might have changed the face of bourbon as we know it. Oh, had bad luck not scuttled his business, Takamine might have changed the face of bourbon as we know it. Though only 40% ABV, a mouth-filling texture and flavors of chestnuts, clementine, and gently burning spice make this whiskey feel rounded and complete, and way too easy to drink. I kind of attracted to this brand, Takamine, Gobon. Okay, Takamine. That's high peak. Gobon, Gaofeng, I guess in Chinese. 9. Kurayoshi 12-year-old Changgil. Okay, as a pure malt, the origins of Kurayoshi's components are shrouded in mystery, though at least some of the whiskey comes from its own distillery in Tottori Prefecture. As long as that doesn't bother you, this expression offers a stellar value with 12 years of age and price tag under $100. As a bonus for American drinkers, Kurayoshi's U.S. importer specifically requested the whiskey at 46% ABV, a few proof points higher than the 43% ABV that it's bottled at for the rest of the world. So the U.S. Kurayoshi brand is 3% more, 3% higher than the rest of the world brand, which is at 43. 10. Shibui 18-year-old sherry cask, single grain. Independent bottler and blender Shibui labels its range of rice-based whiskeys single grain, sourcing them from several different distilleries. The 18-year-old was made at Kumesen Distillery from Indica long grain rice and matured in Fino and Manzanilla sherry casks, which lend nuttiness, subtle spice, and fresh fruit aromas and flavors. So nuttiness, subtle spice, and fresh fruit aromas and flavors, nuttiness. Along with Shibui's other single grain whiskeys, it's made with indigenous Okinawan black koji, also a key ingredient in the production of awamori. Hibiki. I think I saw this one in Japan. 11. Hibiki Japanese Harmony Whiskey. While it's a blend without an age statement, it's arguably one of the best Japanese blends that can rival most blended scotches. It's complex and flavorful, but the taste doesn't overwhelm you when sipping it neat. Suntory whiskey. Yeah, I drank a small bottle of Suntory whiskey, and I bought two big Suntory whiskeys back, and I brought them home. 12 Suntory Toki Japanese whiskey. You are most likely to find Toki in stock, regardless of your location. It's inexpensive, light on the palate, and great on the rocks. If you want an easy sipper, try Toki in highball with club soda and a spirits of fruit. The cocktail is so massive in Japan, they make machines just to crank out the drinks. They make machines just to crank out the drinks, Toki means a season. Toki, Suntory Toki Japanese whiskey. I bought different brand from Suntory. 13. Shinshu Mars EY Tradition Whiskey. This affordable pick mingles Japanese-made whiskey with imported stock aged in bourbon, sherry, and wine barrels. The Mars Shinshu Distillery, founded by the Hombo family in 1808, earns the distinction of being Japan's highest distillery at 789 meters. The alpine location, situated in the Nagano mountain range, provides temperate humidity and exceptional water. That's Gotemba and Hakone area. I've been there 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we stayed there for 3 days. So it is a high mountain, high plateau. I wouldn't say a plateau, but a high level forest tucked away from the cities nearby. Gotemba, Hakone. 14. Nikka Coffee Grain Whiskey. No, there's no coffee in here. Coffee refers to the name of the man who invented the continuous distillation still, an ancient way of distilling a lighter style of whiskey, which Nikka still employs. In many ways, this is one of the standard expressions that have helped define the category. Ansari says, "It's really satisfying, something you can drink every day," echoes Desoblin. If you can't find the grain, the Nikka coffee malt is equally satisfying. Okay. Yamazaki again. 15. Yamazaki 12-year-old whiskey, not 25-year-old whiskey. The price of this bottle is steadily creeping up. You are talking about something that should be $80 max, but is now going for as much as $120. Desoblin says of Suntory's whiskey, that really started it all, especially in the United States. Suntory was around 25 years ago trying to sell this 12-year-old, and it would move. But until a few years ago, no one would drink it. Now, everyone loves it, Desoblin says. That's what I heard. The Japanese whiskey market was dormant, flat, not much business sales. But in 2013 and 2015, suddenly Japanese young people took a liking to their own whiskeys, and the prices zoomed up, skyrocketed. 16. Hibiki 17 Whiskey. This is an incredible taste and has been considered the staple of Japanese whiskey. Desoblin says, Hibiki 17 is comprised of Yamazaki, Hankushu, and Chita grain whiskies, and matured in Japanese oak. It really shows the know-how of Suntory, its distiller. It's a blend of Scottish base and American influence with Japanese flair. Wow, it's a blend of Scottish base and American influence with Japanese flair. The attention to texture and mouthfeel are incredible, and the way the flavors all meld together is perfect. And the way the flavors all meld together is perfect. The attention to texture and mouthfeel are incredible. Attention to texture and mouthfeel are incredible. And the way the flavors all meld together is perfect. Hibiki announced it's discontinuing the release. So act now if you want some. I should buy that one as a memento. From $84, from $200. Damn expensive. By Susanna Skeever Barton. By Sean Evans. I would like to know more about them, but probably I'm curious about Men's Journal, so let's check out what they are. Men's Journal is a rugged and refined lifestyle publication covering the coolest new gear, luxury and adventure, travel, food and drink, health and fitness, and more. Food and drink. I thought foods and drinks. I don't know. It's controversial. I'm not sure if they have to be singular or plural. Food and drink. Good journal. And the Arena Media Brands LLC Men's Journal is a registered trademark of the Arena Media Brands LLC, a channel by Arena Group. I think this is a European company, LLC. The Arena Group is an innovative technology platform and media company with a proven cutting-edge playbook that transforms media brands. We aggregate content across a diverse portfolio of over 265 brands, reaching over 100 million users monthly. Sports Illustrated. The Secret. Parade. We were subscribers. Customers have access to engaging and powerful content brought to life by premium content creators. Arena Group Holdings. I think they are based in UK. We'd love to hear from you. New York. They are based in New York. Interesting. Well, there was a good content. I hope you enjoy your Japanese whiskey, as I will. I brought 2 bottles of Suntory whiskey. One is the yellow, brownish one in the white transparent bottle. The other one is the I haven't decanted it, but I expect it gotta be a brownish in a black stout bottle. The black one was like $18. Yeah, very cheap, 700 milliliters. The transparent bottle was like $14. Very cheap again. I gave the transparent one to my brother-in-law, my wife's brother. So I'm happy with it. I will enjoy my whiskey as you will. Have a wonderful weekend and also have a wonderful whiskey party. But before I go, I would like to go over the expressions one more time, such as fruitiness, nuttiness, flavor, flair, texture, mouthfeel, soft, influence, Japanese influence, American influence with Japanese flair, texture, smoothness, foamy, right? Foamy, oak, Japanese oak, Mizunara oak, cherry blossom oak, single malt, blend, koji, right? Koji, or in Korean it is nurok, koji. We learned that Suntory Hibiki is cutting its release on the Hibiki 17 whiskey, so you gotta hurry up to stock up on it if you really like it. The Scottish base, Koji, High Plateau, and so on. Well, that's it. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.